everybody, Cinema Sickness here with another weekly watch video for you, and I am way behind on doing this video. I tend to put my weekly watch videos off to like the last minute because out of all my videos I make, they're the only ones I kind of like, not the biggest fan of making. They're kind of a pain in the butt, but yeah, I've been putting this video off and kind of put it off for like a week longer than I should have. So this is stuff I watched like 2 weeks ago. Oops. So I'm a little bit behind on this, but regardless, let's get down to it and take a look at what I've recently been watching like 2 weeks ago. So anyway, first title up here is Vernon, Florida. An interesting documentary, but all in all, not really all that great, mainly because the man who made this film, Errol Morris, was supposed to make a completely different documentary originally. Originally, this was supposed to be a documentary all about these people from Vernon, Florida, who hacked off their own limbs to claim insurance policies. Now that is an interesting story. That would have made a great documentary. Unfortunately, his life was threatened when they found out he was making this documentary and decided to do this instead, which is basically him just going to Vernon, Florida, talking to a bunch of crazy people, and then just saying a bunch of crazy things. That's it. Alright, it's this little redneck hickey town, and he interviews just crazy people who just have crazy things to say and have crazy thoughts, and they're just kind of nutcases. Every town has them. My town has plenty of people like that in it. Yeah, it's funny and kind of interesting to hear these crazy people say crazy things, but it's not really that interesting of a documentary or anything like that. It's just him interviewing crazy people. Okay. Had this actually been about the documentary about the people who basically racked up all these insurance policies and then hacked off their own limbs to claim insurance policies, that would have been a much better story. In fact, I ended up Googling information on that, and it was a very interesting read. These people just, I can't believe they did that. They were just poor people, didn't really have much money, took out these huge insurance policies, and they would hack off their own limbs and then get the money from that and not be in the poorhouse anymore. Pretty crazy, and that would have made a fantastic documentary. I would have loved to have seen that, but unfortunately we get this instead. And really, it wasn't all that interesting. Very mediocre. I really wouldn't say this is anything you need to see. If you're interested, sure, check it out. If you want to just watch some crazy people say some crazy things, okay. But in the end, unfortunately, not the documentary it was originally meant to be, and not really all that great because of that. Just mediocre. But the next movie I watched was much better. And this is a movie that I can't believe I'm finally just getting around to watching. This is a movie that I had seen in bits and pieces over the years, but I had never seen in its entirety. And it's definitely a movie that I've heard great things about, and that was Riding in Cars with Boys. I had heard such good things about this movie. In fact, when I mentioned that I was watching it, a lot of you guys on like Instagram and Facebook and stuff like that just had such good things to say about this movie, and I would agree with them all. This was a fantastic and very well done I guess dramedy, I would say. It had some very funny moments in it, but definitely a bit of a drama. All about Drew Barrymore here, who as a teenager ends up getting pregnant, and then how her life pretty much goes downhill from there. But she basically takes her child and blames her child as like the ruin of her life. Just the fact that her life did go downhill, and the fact that she didn't go to college, and the fact that she didn't become this great writer that she wanted to be. She blames all this on her kid, and it's kind of messed up because the kid certainly didn't ask to be born. He didn't ask to be there. He didn't ask to be brought into this world and into this situation. Drew Barrymore is the one who brought this kid into this situation, into this world, into this life, and she blames him, and it's kind of messed up. So a great watch. Definitely recommend checking this one out. It's a fantastic story, and like I said, I can't believe I'm only finally getting around to watching it. So if you haven't seen this one, if you're like me, you just haven't got around to checking it out, do. It was great. Then I watched a movie that a lot of you guys also had very good things to say about, but all in all, I just thought it was just okay. I thought it was a good movie, but I wasn't blown away by it, and that was Blame It On Rio, on beta. Yes, I watched my beta copy of this, my new beta player. So, like I said, in the end, it was an okay movie. It had some funny moments in it. I love the whole aspect of just two friends and their daughters going off, and the one friend getting involved with the other friend's daughter, and the hilarity and craziness that ensues from that. Apparently this is a remake actually of a French film, so I gotta eventually check that title out. But in the end, I thought this was an okay movie. It was alright. It had its moments. it just didn't blow me away. So when I say see it, I would say if this is something you're interested in seeing, definitely check it out. It wasn't a bad movie. It kept my interest. I enjoyed it. But would I say it was anything amazing, anything you need to see? Is it anything I'll be watching again anytime soon? No, it's not. So in the end, I would just say somewhat mediocre, but still a good watch and something that if you're interested in, check it out. The next title I watched is one that I definitely wanted to check out because for those of you who follow me on cinemasickness.com, as you should, you know about this, but I haven't actually talked about this in a video yet, and that's that I bought a pull-down projector screen, which is hanging right above me right now. Bought one of those for my film projectors, so certainly wanted to watch something on it. I had a new projector screen, had to watch something on it, and decided to go with Heckle and Jeckle, Pirates Gold. Heckle and Jeckle is a fantastic comedy series. Absolutely love these guys. Great comedic team here. Love them. Unfortunately, when it comes to Terry Toons, and Terry Toons, they put out some great animated shorts. Unfortunately, when it comes to Terry Toons, they really haven't gotten much in the way of DVD releases, and that is a horrible, horrible shame. In fact, all I can think of off the top of my head, the only Heckle and Jeckle that I know that has been released as DVD, by all means, please correct me if I'm wrong, but the only ones I can think of are, I think there was a Cartoon Craze release, which were those super cheap, like 99-cent DVDs that came in those thin cases, always smelled of like burnt plastic. You used to be able to buy them at places like Walmart. They were just dirt cheap releases, really bad quality, not very well done. I believe some Heckle and Jeckle shorts were released in one of those, and that was it. That's all I can think of anyway. So that's a shame. I really wish somebody would do a whole like Terry Toons like box set, just show all the great animated shorts that Terry Toons did. I really wish somebody would do that, and hopefully, who knows, someday we will. But as of right now, you don't get very much. So I would highly recommend if you can get your hands on some Heckle and Jeckle, no matter what format it's on, pick it up. They're fantastic. This is a great short, all about Heckle and Jeckle. They go into a, it's a ship in a bottle. They go inside, they steal this cat pirate's gold. It's pretty amusing throughout the entire cartoon. There's this guy who keeps ruining the flow of the cartoon. Heckle and Jeckle will be doing their thing, and then all of a sudden they'll stop, and this guy walks across the screen. They kind of check it out. I'm like, who's that? In the end, after they get the gold back from this, steal the gold from the pirate, he walks in, takes all their money, and turns out he's from the IRS, gives them one piece, and says, there you go. Pretty funny. So Heckle and Jeckle is great. If, again, no matter what format you can get your hands on some Heckle and Jeckle, pick it up. You won't be sorry. Heckle and Jeckle is great. I love it. Unfortunately, this is really pretty much all I have at Heckle and Jeckle. Need to get some more, and they need to release some of this to DVD. So, still, great animated short. Loved it. Next title I watched is one that I was pretty disappointed with. And, it was kind of interesting, but at the same time, I was pretty disappointed with. And I think a lot of you guys felt the same, because when I mentioned that I was watching this one, again, on Facebook and Instagram and stuff, a lot of you guys had some negative things to say. And my guess is because you probably went into this thinking the same thing I was thinking, and that is Room 237. I had no idea what this was going into it. What I assumed it was a documentary all about kind of the experience Stephen King had in the original Stanley Hotel, or was it Stanley Hotel? Yeah, I guess the original Stanley Hotel that Stephen King had his, crazy experience in and got the idea for The Shining. I thought it was going to be all about that. That is not what this was about at all. This is a documentary about crazy people and their thoughts on hidden meanings behind The Shining. That was it. It's like 3 or 4 different people and their like crazy conspiracy theories on what Stanley Kubrick really meant when telling the story of The Shining. It's pretty nuts. Some of the things people think in this documentary are just insane. They say some things I'm like, oh my god, how much crack have you smoked? I can't comprehend that anybody would actually think that, oh, Stanley Kubrick must have meant this when he did this scene and that and that and that. No, and I love when they there's a part in here, I highly recommend checking it out. They're doing like interviews, and they're talking to, I forget who it was. I think it was kind of like Stanley Kubrick's like right-hand man or something like that during The Shining. And it's hilarious because they're talking about all these like conspiracy theories, and this guy's like, no, this was done because of that reason, or that was just a mistake, or the guy's basically straight up telling you like, that's not the case at all. You guys are nuts, and it's really fun to watch. So, weird documentary. Again, it's all about people and their crazy theories on what Stanley Kubrick, what they think he meant, was trying to tell, what kind of things he was trying to tell with with The Shining, and it's pretty nuts. But at the same time, kind of interesting. Some people do bring up some interesting stuff, even though I don't agree with any of it. It's still kind of interesting. So, would I recommend checking it out? I would say if you're interested in it, it's sure see it. I wasn't like bored by it. I was kind of amused hearing all this stuff that people thought. But in the end, it's just a bunch of crazy people. So would I recommend it? Not necessarily, but if it's something you wanted to see, if you're still interested in checking it out, it wasn't horrible. So I'd say sure, see it, but it's not really a documentary that has anything to do with Stanley Kubrick or really has anything to do with Stephen King or anything like that. It's just a bunch of crazy people and their ideas behind The Shining, and it's pretty nuts. Then I watched a super cheeseball movie, but a great movie, and that was Bait 3D. I did watch this one in 3D. It is cheeseball as hell. It's exactly what you're thinking it's going to be. It's just these people, crazy like earthquake. There's sharks in this, or it's like an earthquake, like tsunami. And because of the tsunami, people are like flooded inside like a grocery store, and there's sharks in there. And it's insane. It's cheesy. It's goofy. It's ridiculous. And it's fun. It's what you expect. If you are a fan of just cheeseball movies, Bait 3D is one to see. If you don't like them cheesy, stay away from this one then. That's all I can say. I liked the movie. It was fun. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's goofy. It's cheesy, but I like that kind of thing. So I loved it. I'd recommend it. Is it a good movie? No, it's bad, but in a fun sort of way. So Bait 3D, see it. Then a movie I wouldn't recommend checking out. In fact, I'd say stay far, far away from this movie, and that was Cosmopolis. I went into this one expecting maybe something pretty decent, or at least something that I would somewhat enjoy at least. David Cronenberg, also stars Paul Giamatti. I'm thinking, okay, I'm in. Yikes, was this just a mess. The whole time, I either did not really understand what was going on, or just, I didn't really care what was going on. I was just bored to hell with this movie. It just never really went anywhere, and I guess there was this whole big, like, I think it's one of those movies where it's like they're trying to say something with the film, and it didn't come off at all. It was just piss poor, boring, drab dialogue. Even in the end, where Paul Giamatti finally comes in the movie. Paul Giamatti's in the movie for like 5 minutes. When he finally comes into the movie, even that's not really that great. I mean, he's definitely the best out of everybody in the film, but even that, his scenes are just kind of like, who cares? It's just boring from start to finish, badly written from start to finish, nonsensical from start to finish. And a lot of you guys apparently feel exactly the same. In fact, I had a ton of you guys leave comments when I mentioned I was watching this saying that you couldn't even get through the film. That's not a good sign. I did finish it, but man, it was hard for me even to get through this one. So, nope, stay away. Do not see this one. I picked this up for $1 at Dollar Tree. And really, when it comes down to it, I want my $1 back. This was just complete garbage. But then a documentary that was enjoyable, and that was Curse of the, I'm going to try to pronounce this one right, Curse of the, I believe it's Borgia, if I'm not mistaken. That word right there, Borgia. And this was an interesting story, all about this family, this Borgia family, and just the craziness behind this family. Everything from murder and the father becoming the Pope and just being incredibly just evil and just, oh God, their father was a nutcase. Just watching this guy again become the Pope, and just the things he did when he was inside the church and how he used it just for his gain and his power and his wealth, and just he wanted to be this just basically a god himself. It was pretty crazy. So a really messed up documentary about just a messed up family, and worth checking it out. I mean, they call it the curse of them because of all the bad things that happened to them, but really when it comes down to it, everything was brought upon themselves. Just a really crazy family and a very enjoyable documentary, as most A&E documentaries are. So this was nuts. Just this family. It just, you want to see, you think your family's bad, check out this documentary. You'll see a messed up family. So would I recommend this one? Yes. Fun documentary about a crazy family, and just it'll blow you away some of the things that these family members did to just, I mean, even their own family and other people, and just, wow, it blows you away. So check this one out. Interesting documentary. Then I finished up season 2 of The Middle, and I am loving this show. So in love with it. As I mentioned, it's almost kind of like Malcolm in the Middle, but like more edgy. And I like that. It's great. I have nothing but praise for the middle. It's, I guess I say a sitcom, but not so much. But a great, if you want to say sitcom, but a great series nevertheless. It's extremely funny. I love watching his family and just the crazy situations they get themselves into. Fantastic. And I'm loving this one, and I'm on season 3 right now. Need to get some more seasons of this on DVD because this is great. So The Middle, check it out. If you haven't seen any of the episodes of this show yet, see them. You'll be hooked. I love it, and I cannot wait to watch more. Then the last title I checked out was Saving the Titanic, a great PBS documentary. And yeah, the name is a little silly. I know some of you guys on Instagram and Facebook and stuff made some jokes about the title of this, but what it is about are the people kind of behind the scenes who really tried to save the Titanic for as long as they possibly could. I mean, they first tried to actually save the Titanic from sinking, and then once they found out it was sinking, the people who really tried to save it from sinking as fast and tried to slow it down, and they actually slowed it down. I think by a couple hours they slowed the sinking of the Titanic down, which did end up saving lives, even though we know the horrible story of how many lives probably could have been saved on the Titanic that weren't. But they did their best to save the Titanic from sinking as fast as it was going to, and they actually held it off a bit. And it's about the people, basically, again, behind the scenes, and in the boiler room and stuff like that, and the electricians and all those people, how they stayed on this ship. They didn't get off. They stayed aboard the ship, did not try to save their lives, were down in the belly of the ship, doing everything they could to possibly keep the power going, keep things working, because they had to keep like lifeboat winches working because they were like electronic. They wanted to keep those working. They had to just do everything they possibly could to prolong the sinking of the Titanic to help people get off and save their lives. And they sacrificed their own lives to do this. So very well told story. Very enjoyable. Really, really like this one. This is a great PBS movie, and I would definitely recommend picking this up. You can get your hands on it. It was great. If you're interested in Titanic at all, also worth seeing. I love the Titanic. I love learning about the Titanic. I'm a nut for it. I'm like obsessed with learning about the Titanic. I have all kinds of documentaries in my collection on it, and I love watching them. And this was a great story based around them, and a story I hadn't really heard too much about. I had heard about people trying to prolong the sinking to save people. I heard about that, but I never really seen a documentary or any kind of movie or story on it, and that is what we get here. So this was very well done. Definitely recommend checking this one out. A great, again, PBS movie. Highly recommended. So there you go, guys. That's it. That's everything I watched over the last, 2 weeks ago. Again, I'm behind on this video. Sorry, guys. But anyway, guys, that's it. So like I always say, if you like this video, please give me a like. If not already subbed, please do. And if you're not already over at cinemasickness.com, head on over there, check it out. There's a lot more to see there than just these videos. All kinds of things on like deals going on and whatnot. Also a lot going on with Team Sickness as well. Definitely check out those guys. And of course, while you're there, be sure to click on that shop tab and purchase yourself a Cinema Sickness sticker and or a Cinema Sickness button. They're dirt cheap, and I would definitely appreciate the support. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.